name's aLex. We're here through Sun and Moon Yoga Studios portal. I'm still sort of setting up here. My usual tech is not available for me just now, so I'm on my phone. Hopefully won't be interrupted and tossed off. So let's get to it. As one podcaster I listen to says, let's find the feel of the ground. So we're just moving in the direction of our true essence of finding that through stillness. There's this practice we do. I say practice with that emphasis because we dedicate a practice sort of like a recharging time, sort of like putting our phone, getting the juice back in our phone. But there's a difference. The analogy falls a little short. Each time we practice, we more and more get familiar with the presence of ourself that is always, always here. It's always here, and it is our source. It is what makes us whole when we remember to touch back into it. So let's feel through our bodies. So I use 3 terms: ground, sound, breath. Not necessarily in that order, but I often, and right now we'll first come to ground, which is sensing gravity through our body. And I don't know, I feel like sometimes saying those words, I'm not sure that really conveys. So sensing gravity through our body by feeling the touch of the ground, but once you more and more feel that touch of, I'm feeling my left shin, sort of a heaviness, but lighter than the feel in my pelvis against the folded blanket. So we have these contrasts that give us the specifics of the feel, the texture, the weight, the beingness of each of the things that we're experiencing. And the particularity, not the memory of it. And so often, and I think there's a scientific inquiry into this, is what we think is true is so often memory. And so to come to right here, this place we are, and so when we do this physically through our body, to sense where we are right here, in our room, on the floor, on the ground, on a bed, on a chair, it can only be truly right now and truth of what's here now. So give yourself time as you arrive and guide your attention. I was going to say direct. I like the word guide better. Guide your attention to feel the qualities and your own breath here, your own aliveness. We're already starting to get quieter, perhaps relaxing a bit more. The partner to gravity will bring to our breath to feel levity, this uprightness if you're sitting upright. If you're lying down, it's fine. You can experience this same thing. The more upside of your body toward the sky is the levity side. It's going upward. The downward pull is gravity. Play between the two in this grid of space. There's a voice in the background that's giving me a chance to meet the anger I'm feeling right now at my person not remembering that I'm recording at this point. Just noticing how you're sensing your breathing right at this moment. Sometimes all the distractions come at you at once. And still, I am here, sensing ground, breath. A sense of humor I'm feeling come up. And already you may feel that we're in a meditative state. And a lot of this practice will be very still. And the third aspect, sound. So from where we are right now, how are you receiving the sounds coming? And this too is such a tool that brings us right into direct presence. You may be noticing sounds nearby, maybe a buzzing kind of sound where you are or from the sound of this video. Sensing your own self, your body, and your mind, the energetic sense of how it is you are when you're in this listening, present listening. And so let's come back to breath now and come to the mini movement portion of this practice. Change this a little bit. Feeling the breath, and perhaps even placing a hand on your lower belly and one hand in back. And sensing as you breathe in, expansion of this lower dantian, lower belly, and just letting yourself listen, relax, feeling yourself as presence, ourselves as presence. As we feel the breath going out, usually from our yoga experience, we sense like as if that sphere in the belly deflates, like a balloon deflating. And just follow that the inhale has this expansion softly, easily, no strain needed, and exhale, there's a deflation. And then I'm going to share with you a practice, many of you have done this with me before, the Unshu breath, where as you just begin the exhale, but now soften and imagine the diaphragm muscle sort of lowers down, and we keep the expansion in the belly, but it'll feel a little different than the expansion of the inhale in the bodily sense. And then inhale freely. Begin the exhale just a little, as if letting a little air out, but then allow a fullness to stay, a soft fullness. It's as if the floor of the diaphragm muscle flattens and pushes down a little, like an elevator coming down. And this is so, when I first learned this some 8 years ago, 7 years ago, it was so counterintuitive, so my body rebelled against it. So if that's happening for you, let it be. We just do a few repetitions. Just try to stay as relaxed as possible, but a lot of times that's not so easy when you're trying this new technique. And then let it go and just breathe naturally. So that's the mini meditation, mini movement rather. So as we shift into our meditation, and you may be right in there already, I'm not even going to ring the bell. Try to keep my voice soft, but we will, you might shift your position a little, but notice that your state of being, your mental energy, your body may be quite different than it was a little earlier, before our centering, before our mini movement practice with the breath. And the idea I'd like to cultivate this week, I'm still interested in the topic I said I would embark on last week, the poison as medicine. Noticing those parts of ourselves that are our reactions, or the characteristics of ourselves that we deny or too much indulge in, or that we have some criticism about those states, meeting those. But I like to go take a step back to invite ourselves to notice the presence that we have, the awareness that comes, the seeing of those. So as if really slowing down time, and it might not be, you might catch it afterward, or just to notice that who is seeing all that arises, all the thought that comes, all the comment that comes, the reactions that come, just like I had the reaction of the anger. I think I was more in the anger, but because I'm here in this practice, it was part of just settling back to seeing it, and companioning it, being with it, simply being without judgment, which is what awareness does. We often have judgment come in, and it's an important aspect of our mind, but it's on overdrive. So it's as if you step back or lean back to what is prior, to the seeing, the hearing, the attending, before anything that's manifest. And so for about the next 8 minutes, we'll sit quietly together, still. Here and there, I will drop in a cue to help us get back on track. Enjoy your journey. simply relaxing. As awareness. It's as if, as Rumi writes, we are the guest house that welcomes everything. Everything is free to come in and out. We're like an open house guest house. Everything is free to come in. Something may feel like it's coming in from the outside, something quote unquote foreign. And then we have reactions that come that are from ourself, but they are a new thing that comes, a new guest. And another, and sometimes then we notice something underneath the reaction. And by resting as awareness, as this boundless, spacious awareness, we're able to see more and more. And the companioning part of it, the being with, the part that never abandons us, it's always here, even when we're not conscious of it, has an unwinding, a healing action simply by having been seen, having been heard, by seeing, hearing, witnessing. As you need to an anchor that helps you remember what we're doing, remember your intent, the breath, the ground, sound and space around. comes across that well through these devices I have for this recording. Nonetheless, it brings the sound brings the message of the end of our meditation. And you can certainly sit longer, but it is useful to note the beginning and end as this is part of how we bring what we're cultivating on our cushion in our practice to life, as I might have mentioned earlier about it's a practice, but it is a way we hope to recognize more and more, re-cognize more and more in every moment of our day, the true nature of ourself that is all these many parts. It is all these many parts, but it's what was before. It's what's prior. It's what's boundless. It's what's without any limits, and it is seeing and welcoming. It doesn't exclude anything, and yet we have to bring that essence of ourselves into it's like it is a fountain. It's like every moment as we tap into it, we get messages of what we get, guidance and direction of what is the next obvious thing for us to do on our path. Thank you for joining me on this path, and I hope next week to have less technical difficulties. I'll probably be on my phone again. I'll be traveling. Maybe not. Maybe I'll bring my device, but I'll make sure I have a better connection. Thank you.